Hello everyone, my name is Nordic Beast and welcome back to my shipyard, which has been vanilla-ized, I guess. I shut off all the mods in here and mostly rebuilt the shipyard with vanilla parts, and it's not done yet, but I will get around to finishing it here sometime in the near future. I can use mods in it, I just wanted the shipyard not to rely on mods. That's all. And when I do use mods, I'll switch back to DirectX 9, since most mods still don't support DirectX 11. So anyway, I've been working on a lot of ships lately, and I just thought I'd show off a couple. So first and foremost is this one right here. It's called the Shipyard. Right? Shipyard? No, this is the Draken. I'm sorry, that one's the Shipyard. The Draken, which in Swedish is dragon, which I named one of my old shipyards the Draken. This is going to be for an upcoming scenario I'm going to work on, where you have to escort this ship. Well, sort of. It's going to dock with a base, and then it's going to start a timer, which is about 10 minutes before it undocks and goes off and flies away. And in that 10-minute period, you have to defend the ship against AI ships attacking it, because there's an AI mod out there. And if the ship is destroyed, or I'll probably tag a part inside, like maybe its main reactor, if that's destroyed, then you've lost the mission. If if it survives and gets to a certain point, that'll be within like the winning dynamics of the mission. And then you'll be at a station kind of like this, but it'll be like a big recharge station, and you'll have projectors that can build several ships, like say 5 ships per person. It could be like a 2-player room. So, as you see here, we got a nice docking bay for any small ship. It's got a connector on the bottom and on the back with oxygen. So if you want to fill this up with oxygen, you could also use it as like a base ship. So I was thinking more outside the box than just for the actual mission itself. So it's quite big and sluggish. It's supposed to be somewhere between the mining carriage and the troop transport, the military transport. I'm sorry. So it's not as big and heavy and armored as the troop transport, but the layout is kind of like that. So, real quick, I will show you the actual cockpit, and then we'll move on. There we go. As you see, it's got a programmable block. We've got the we've got the gravity generator up there. There's your oxygen vent. It even has one of the cryo chambers. And then this is the script, which this is just for, it's just your reactor output. Which I think, I've got a couple of batteries in here too. And then behind this wall is a large reactor. So the batteries are actually backup batteries. I thought of this a while back. I'm surprised people don't use more backup batteries, for backup power. So you're not even using the batteries. You just charge them, keep them charged, and then shut them off. Don't use them. But if you play survival as much as I do, when you're online, sometimes you won't be online for a couple of days, for example. What if your ship loses power? Well, you hop on there, say, oh, my mining ship that was docked lost power, and I've got no way to get to the reactor. Boom, turn on your emergency power. Or if you're in combat and your reactor gets shot out or damaged to the point where it's not working anymore, boom, turn on your batteries as backup. So even if you don't like to primarily use batteries, which I love to do, they're an excellent backup. So this is this tunnel here leads into the cargo bay. Come on. And there we go. So that's the Draken transport. I really like this design. It is currently a little big for the landing gear that it supports. And by that I mean most asteroids it's too big for. But I don't know, I think it's fine. I like the design. And when planets come out, this will not have anywhere near the thrust to take off. I could design one with more vertical thrust, but we'll get to that when planets finally come out, whenever the hell that is. So this is the Shipyard, and this is a ship that doesn't have a name. No name. Both of them were designed to the same basic specifications. I wanted a ship for the NID defense, for the NID whitelist server. Looks like they turned cargo ships off. I could be mistaken, but I didn't see any last night. And but I do know eventually meteors will get turned on. Oops, sorry. And so we will still need a meteor defense, so I may end up going with this design instead of this one, which, again, this is the Shipyard. The Shipyard's all heavy armor with 8 guns and 6 rocket pods. That was more designed for use against cargo ships, because 6 rocket pods would just annihilate a cargo ship, even something like the military transport. This one uses light armor and several layers of it, which would be cheaper and easier to repair, a little less time consuming, but I don't know. Overall, I wasn't pleased with the design. This is another one that Dracul actually liked. You know, that gives a bit more function than form, but has a beauty of its own because of it. This one actually handled quite well, too. Now, like this one here, do I have my light on? No, I don't. Okay. And even the Shipyard has the same setup. So, when you come in through the docking ports, which is designed to match my Shipyard, that's on the whitelist server, you drop up or down. Oop, come on, get in here. To get to the different levels. So, yeah, which this one is just oxygen. You've got the med bays, the cryopods, and then you come in here for your, yeah, for your, damn it, flight seats or control seats, whatever. So, oh wow, I was way off. Yeah, which this one actually handles a lot better than the Shipyard does, because it is probably a third the weight, because I use light armor. So, and then with this, you can drop down. Whee! And what's in here? Oh, it's grab. Okay. And I thought you could get back there, but apparently not. Which this is also an air vent. Which this would just be like a crew quarters area. I never finished designing it because I kind of stopped and was like, oh, I'll build the Shipyard instead. Well, come on. Sorry. Or what eventually became the Shipyard. And I was like, why don't I go with something like my old World Serpent design? As you notice, if you go back to one of my previous Shipyard episodes, you would see it. Yeah, and the only reason I posted this one here today is because in my previous whitelist video, you could only see the projection of it. So, and now you can see what the thruster enclosed, the enclosed thruster casings here look like. Which I actually like this. This is yet another one that Dracul didn't much care for. Yeah. And then there's actually a little door back here, but this just accesses some maintenance area. You got your oxygen, your remote block. You've got your programmable blocks, your gyros. So, it's just in case you need to get back here for maintenance reasons. Now, I'm just going to leave the door open. If I can get out, okay. So, the levels in this, like just this tapered midsection here is the crew area. Whoop. Yeah, which oxygen does get in here. So, first we'll go up to the crew area, which is up here. Come on. There we go. This is it. And you got your couple of flight seats. Your oxygen is back here. And then it also flows down to the floor below. As you see, you got a little interior turret. Whoop. So then we can come down here. And med area. And then a bunch of cryopods back here. And that's it. That was the whole idea. I was planning on, I could just go into the cryopods and put this thing on autopilot. Oh wait, I need to go down. And let it just go on its own when I wasn't on the server to defend against cargo ships and meteorites. I always get that mixed up. But like I said, this one might be just a little too much in the way of resources, and I don't need those big rocket pods anymore because there's no more cargo ships. So this one actually does have rocket pods, as you notice, and it's behind doors, so I can close the doors and keep all that protected, which I do like kind of what I did with the front on this thing, but I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I may end up still using this on the NID server, again for meteorite defense, because this will cost a lot less. It has solar panels on it, It just overall be less expensive, and I could probably build a few of these for NID defense. Anybody who doesn't have defense for their stations and buildings, I can have that. So, all right, I've rambled on about these 3 ships long enough. I am going to hop over to the fighters, which I just got these few here. So this one, no name. I was just trying to go with an asymmetrical design, just something that looked different than what I usually build. So that's pretty much it. It has an oxygen tank on this side, and then it has a medium cargo container on this side, and the same gun setup, which I love when this thing shoots. It's awesome. I kind of like the side tracers. There we go. I can see them. But anyone who's done plenty of dogfighting in Space Engineers, like I have a lot lately, it would take a little getting used to flying this ship. It wouldn't be the easiest to get these guns on target, and they are a bit spread out, which is both good and bad. When you look at this, yeah, you're more likely to hit more often, but you're not going to hit it with as much focused fire. So, and this one had, or I planned on putting a rocket pod in there, but I never got around to it. I think I got distracted by people coming into the room and then screwing around and whatnot, so I never finished designing it. Now this one is called the Falcon. When I designed it, here, bear with me, let me take a sip of my drink here. Alright, good. The Falcon, when I designed it, I thought to myself, wow, looks like something Dracul would make. The little spikies on it and everything. And I was so confident, I even made one in his colors. Black, red, and yellow. He instantly looked at it and said, I would never make a ship that fat. And then dismissed it. That was it. Didn't try it, nothing. Was just like, yep, that's it. And left it be. But I recently did try this against AI ships. If you don't know, there's an AI mod out on the workshop. Worth playing. Give it a try if you get a chance. But with this, the super focused firepower and the rocket launcher all in the nose, devastating. Even with no mods, just that, devastating. And this thing, the big design feature of it is it's quite heavy. It's at about 25,000 kilograms. So as far as our fighter rules go, it's on the heavy side. It's sluggish. But it has 2 layers of light armor on almost everything. My idea was trying to go with what Lacarthian did in his monolith was I wanted more armor. And against AI ships, this thing took about 5 rocket hits. It was all beat up. I mean, it was pretty much scrap at that point, but it was still flying after 5 hits. So, yeah, that's the Falcon. And its focused armament got me to redesign the NID Fire, my NID fighter design, that was also supposed to be in conjunction with those 2 over there, one of those 2, for everyone to defend against cargo ships and whatnot. So this one probably won't make it into the NID then, but I might as well show it off. I do like it. It's got the focused 4 guns. It has camera on the remote block right up in the nose. We've got the 2 rocket launchers underneath here, which are pretty reasonable. I wouldn't shoot them while maneuvering, but they are good while strafing. Which, I mean, if you're shooting rockets while maneuvering, you're probably not hitting anything anyway, so I would suggest definitely only be flying in one direction when shooting rockets, regardless of where your rocket is mounted. So, it also has a feature, I think I mentioned this before, but it has a sensor, and when you get close to the ship, I'm sorry, I need another drink here. When you get close to the ship, the sensor will detect you, starts a timer that's a 1-hour timer, and will turn on your the autopilot to send your ship back home after an hour in case you become disabled for some reason. So yeah, that was the NID Fire. That was going to be the fighter for the NID, but no purpose for it anymore, unfortunately. So next up, this is the Stellar Hawk, which is pretty much a copy of the Raven. I was talking about this. If you go on the workshop and you type in Raven and Fighter, you'll find a ship that uses mods that looks very similar to this. This is it without mods, and then the thrusters and all that are all different because there was, I think it was Azimuth or the armored thrusters, and he had different guns and stuff that were set back further. And I didn't like that this was pretty much a copy. I wanted something a bit more original. The main thing that the guy did that I wouldn't have done that I liked, though, was the upward slant on the back edge of the wing. I thought that was cool looking. That's an interesting design. So, but I decided to take the general idea of this and make my own ship. So I made this one, and I went with more of a leaf design, if you look at it here. See? Now you notice like the winglets up here, well, first off it doesn't have any canards, and then like the wing root here angles a bit, which on a later design, like this one here, you'll see it's just a long slant instead of being kind of jagged. This one also does not follow the fighter rules. It has way too many thrusters. And you notice like the thrusters under here are kind of exposed and whatnot. I eventually just took off the tail plane and kind of armored up the top a bit, added some more thrusters up here instead of on the side. If you look at this one here, you got all these thrusters under here pointing forward. I'm like, that's silly. I didn't like it. So I only left 2, which I resussed into the design here. This is the final design, by the way. This is the Wolf, which is on the NID server. So if you watched my NID video from yesterday, you should see this. Yeah, and I encased the thrusters a bit more to make it a little bit more aerodynamic. See, these ones are kind of encased a bit more. I even have 2 little ones back here. So yeah, this one I am ecstatic with. Like I said, I was tempted to name this the Valkyrie, 2. But, no, I decided I think Wolf was a good way to go, was the Wolf. So, and then if you look in here, I kind of patched all this up, and I've got a Rosie and a Grinder Girl in here, and my Bobcat, which is my multi-purpose little getting around ship. It's got the merge block down there. So, yeah, well, that's pretty much it. I've yet again rambled on long enough about the ships I've been working on. So, if you guys enjoy the series, please subscribe. If you enjoy the episode, please hit the like button. And I will see you guys next time.